One of the things that hit me as I was on the bus on the way here one day was, I wouldn't want to be in any other place in the world. And I just felt like I was right where God would have me be, or I was at the right place at the right time. In the early 1900s, the Methlemiana mission was started by Reverend Reynolds, a South African who felt called by God to leave his work to minister among the Zulus. He would travel on horseback to preach in the villages. Here a mission church was started and a Bible college was built. God blessed the preaching of his word during the 50 years of Reynolds' ministry by calling young Zulu men to carry on the work of the church. Other missionaries followed, and in the 1970s the mission was turned over to the South African Wesleyan Church. National Superintendent Robert Hlengetwa felt the need to strengthen the church in the areas of theological education by extension and leadership training. We were sent to Margate in 1994 under the direction of the National Church to begin work with the Zulus and Xhosa people. This is the Emmanuel Wesleyan Church here in Nkosazana. This is the Nkosazana district. It is one of 9 churches. It is the main church. This is the first church I preached my first Zulu sermon in. After we'd been here about 8 months, I was able to preach in Zulu. People have been very patient. The work that I've been doing here is TEE, Theological Education by Extension. And we've been having classes here starting with the books Following Jesus, the Old Testament Part 1, 2, 3, 4, and the New Testament. And your typical class that we've had here in Nkosazana has been a lot different than what I'm used to.
Hello!
In the district of Transkei, I've been working with Reverend Simon Njobe and learning much from him on what to do and what not to do as a missionary. We got along so well together, and after working with him, I was elected to be his assistant district superintendent.
I want to be in his service all the time till he takes me home.
2 weeks after I had been elected, Reverend Njobe died of a massive stroke, which left me with the job of district superintendent of Transkei. It's been quite something to be a teacher of TEE classes and then suddenly responsible for 28 outstations. Almost immediately, I met a man named Baba Hempe and Baba Kapaza, who were from the town of Usikisiki at the African General Conference. It seemed that there had been many misunderstandings over the years, and they weren't allowed to be ordained, even though they had finished 3 years of Bible college over 25 years ago.
I was ordained in the Wesleyan Church on the 19th July this year, after 20 years. Been working. I follow us for Jesus. Jesus to me means he is my Savior. And I must work for him.
That's good. Okay.
I went to the Pilgrim Holiness Church after I had been dreaming when I saw the white people came to me praying with me tonight. I never saw white people praying, but I saw in the dream. Then I went to another pastor, Reverend Mbeu. I never saw him. Now, I joined the church on that time. He took me to the mission, Good Hope Mission, in Pondoland, Transkei. After 6 months, I've been told to go to Bible school. It was 1963. I agreed. I asked my wife to let me go to Bible school. She agreed. So I went to Bible school. This to me is after 30 years now. Now, at the last moment, I was ordained on the 19th day of July this year. Good Hope Mission. That is where I heard about that conference. Now, we spend our money to go there to find the missionaries there and the another ministers. That is where I met Reverend Helvies. He told us he will come to our home. That was the first time to see the district superintendent come to our home.
After seeing these districts brought back into the Wesleyan Church, being a part of their ordination, and seeing how the people are wanting God to work in and among them, I felt again I was right where God would have me be. Our son Eric has been involved in gymnastics ever since we've been in Africa, and each year he's made it to the South African Gymnastics Championships.
Yeah, I did go to Cape Town for the South African Championships. That was the first year that we were here. And I competed there, and I came 15th in the country. The next year after that, I went to Bloemfontein. I came 9th. And then the next year, I went to the South African Championships, which was also in Bloemfontein, and then I came first.
Our daughter Melody has done just as well in piano these past 3 years, taking piano lessons with exams and playing without mistakes at piano recitals.
I go to a public school. I'm in 6th grade. 36 kids are in my class. That's about the average kids in the class. This is Shanae. This is Stacy Lee. This is Inga. This is Candace. This is Priscilla. This is Paula.
So this is your classroom, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
My primary role was to support Mike and keep things going smoothly at home when Mike would travel to his various ministry sites. Yet I sense a personal call to missions. I also felt such a burden for the women in our Zulu churches. I wanted to get to know them better and teach them some practical skills. I love to sew and felt that teaching these skills to the ladies would be helpful to them and could lead to increasing their incomes. We now have 12 to 16 students, and Maureen from the Margate Wesleyan Church helps us as well. And so it's meant a lot to me that you've been able to come up and help me out here. I know some people, I think, have some fears about leaving the town and coming out in these areas in these days. Would you say that you've had to deal with any type of fear in coming out?
I don't really think so, because I believe that the Lord is with us. He's there to protect us. And we are doing the Lord's work in helping people that are underprivileged and to help them to help themselves by teaching them to sew. But Jesus is always there to help me, and to me He is my best friend. The only friend that one has that you can turn to in your time of need to help you, someone that you can talk to without it going any further. And just to be my friend, to me it's just a wonder. I just love him.
I prayed, and as I was reading a book by Jill Briscoe, felt encouraged to start a ministry to the young adults in the Wesleyan Church here in town. We started with monthly fellowships for 3 months, then moved to weekly Bible studies. Now we have a total of 12 adults, singles and couples, and 9 children who meet every Wednesday night.
And I've stood on the Word of God every single day. and is the only thing that has kept me strong and kept me going. My daughter's now going to be 9 next month, and I was unfortunate to be diagnosed with a tumour on the brain 3 weeks ago. And as you can all see, they've shaved my head, and if you look carefully at the marks on my head, I'm busy undergoing radiation treatment again to shrink the tumour. I will not have chemotherapy, but I prayed a lot about it, and I feel comfortable knowing that the Lord has answered my prayers. And when I lie on those machines every day, I hold His hand. And if I look back 3 years of my life ago, when I thought I was a Christian, there's nothing compared to what I feel now.
I've known the Lord most of my life. I can say that that's fortunate. But I am one of these people who fell away thinking that you can live life without God. And God just proved to me that there is no life without God. I met my husband, well, that time we were only going out in 1988. We started going out in 1989. And we got married and things were going well, we had children. But what we really forgot was to communicate with each other, and most of all to communicate with God. We actually lost interest in each other, not actually more from his side, more from mine. We sort of lost respect for each other, and we just started leading our own lives, living away from each other. Donnie realized something was going wrong, and he tried desperately hard to pull our marriage back together. Every night, he would try and speak to me, and it's just, when the devil's got you, he's got you bad. I just wouldn't listen. I made up my mind. I was packing, I was leaving. I just thought the grass was green on the other side. Sitting at work one day, I was actually just thinking about my husband and my kids. I've got a picture of them sitting at me, looking at me at work. And all of a sudden, God just said, "What are you doing? Look at your life, look at your husband, look at your children." And I just started crying, and I just cried and cried, and just left work, climbed in the car, rode all the way home. And as I drove up the driveway, my husband works in the day as well, his car was parked there, and I just said to him, "It's time we talk." I can say thanks to Mike and Cindy's counselling, which helped Donnie a lot. I explained to him everything I was about to do, everything that had gone wrong. And we started from there. We gave our lives totally to the Lord. Easter Sunday we got baptized. We now, I can say, faithfully praise our God and just read Bible every night, share with each other. And for us it was the start of our marriage.
That's why I said to you previously, I was part of the furniture, yeah? I spoke to Mike. We had a lot of people praying. Manny said she was sitting there one day actually at her work. What actually happened is we had people like Cindy and Mike, the pastor's wife, and everybody were fasting that same day. And it just shows you how powerful prayer is.
And the friends I've made in Way are the best. I'll never ever forget them. They are my closest and dearest and most loved friends in my life.
And I thought to myself, I'm not coming to church to get something out. I want to be part of the ministry. And I must say the Lord has really guided us. We're thankful for Mike and Cindy for their ministry, for their sharing, also for bringing together this whole group that we can learn from each other's problems. I must say, if I was in the world still, I would never have gathered with these people, to be honest, because we just have nothing in common. I tell you. But I'm just grateful that our love for the Lord Jesus Christ has really united us in spreading the gospel and just bringing the Lord to other people.
I think this is the sweetest time in my life. I've been able to do work that I've enjoyed before in the past, but this tops it all. To minister across cultures in South Africa.